Guys, before we go back to the on-the-water footage, I want to give an update. So I had said in the last couple of videos or video that I was concerned about the new Lynx STS starboard rod box because that's where I carry all of my spinning rods, and it had me thinking I might stay with the Puma STS, which I might, but that rod box is built as a 6'6" rod box. And I had a comment of a guy who said he had heard you could put a little bit longer rod in there. So come to find out, I have a friend who has this particular boat. So Ryan at Ross Motorsports there in Lufkin has this boat. I reached out to Ryan and he sent me this.
Hey Ken, I just want to show you 7-foot rods do fit in here. I actually got a 734 and then a 735 Dobbins, which both of these are exactly 7 foot 3 inches long. I'll show you this is very simple. I'll show you another one, 7 foot 3. Very simple. You probably have enough room to do like a 7.5 or 7 foot 6 inch. I did try a 7.8 and it wouldn't go, as well as an 8-footer, it wouldn't go. But 7.3s, as you saw right there, easy peasy to put in there. There's no telling how many you can probably put, I don't know, 15 or 20 in there. But all good.
Come on. All right, boys, we're gonna take a Cougar out. I've never been in a Cougar. And it's got a Suzuki on it. I've never been in a boat with a Suzuki. That is the quietest motor. The motor's running. You can hear the guys talking over the motor noise. That is, can you hear, the motor's running. The motor's running. It's unbelievable. I'm just gonna let it drift in there to you and you can hop in. I mean, it's unbelievably quiet. So this, I think the Cougar's 20 feet 2 inches. I'll confirm at the bottom of the screen, guys. So it's the one with the traditional grains in it. It's a little bit more narrow. You'll notice it doesn't have the old crap handles because it won't fit. But what we talked about with the boat, with the seat manufacturers, I think they've got an idea now from yours truly that might actually work to give another old crap handle, because it's got the rail over there, which is the traditional Bass Cat old crap handles. But listen to that motor. So for those of you who don't know, I think I'm gonna get this right. So the lower unit ratio on a Mercury is 1.75 to 1. Now I think I'll get this right, which means for, is it reverse or is it correct? So either for every 1,000 RPMs, you get 1.75 or it doesn't matter anyway. So this, it made me crazy. So I had to go watch an old video of my own to remember how to do this. So the gear ratio on the lower unit tells you how many times the crankshaft has to turn the prop one time. So with the Mercury, it's 1.75. So if you're running 6,000 RPMs, you're really turning the prop shaft. So it's RPMs divided by ratio, 6,000 divided by 1.75. That means you're turning the prop 3,428 times per minute. If you're running a 25 pitch prop, it means really it's a 25 inch pitch, which means you would be the 3,428 times 25 inches, but then you've got to account for slip. So what it boils down to is prop rotation per minute times pitch times 0.96, which is that 82,285 figure. Convert that to feet, so you divide it by 12 is 6857. Then you multiply it times 60 to get feet per hour. 411,425. Divide that by 5,280 and you're running right at 78 miles an hour. If you ran that same prop on that Suzuki, it is a 2.08 to 1 ratio. You would only be running 65 miles an hour. So what you'll see is it's not unusual on those motors to run 28, 29, and 30 pitch props. And that's how you get similar speed out of them. Now, there's a lot of odd stuff about this, about hole shots, etc. But it made me crazy that I could not remember exactly how to do that. So now you are geeked out on the math on lower units, pitch, all that fun stuff. So this one is 2.0. So what you'll find if you got back there and dug around on the bike, we're running a 28 pitch prop. So because of that different ratio on the lower unit,
It's a much different prop. They can run a lot higher pitch prop. Doesn't make them faster, doesn't make them slower. I'm gonna guess it's gonna give them a little bit slower hole shot, which we'll show you right here in just a second. But it's certainly, it's just a different way of doing things, right? I don't know that it makes a difference on fuel mileage or anything.
The other difference about Suzuki versus Yamaha or Mercury, Yamaha and Mercury test their motors at the prop. So they're rated 250 horsepower at the prop, whereas Suzuki's rated at the crank. So a Suzuki 250 isn't going to be as fast as a Mercury or a Yamaha 250 because they're not rated at the prop.
Because friction, you're going to lose a little bit of your horsepower.
Right.
It's interesting. I didn't know that. Can you flash a 260 a Suzuki like you can flash a Yamaha?
I have no idea. Guess I haven't heard.
So we're talking about a lot of the Yamahas. Apparently Yamaha doesn't have a problem with it. They're flashing them. So basically you send in the, what's the card called? DCM card, and they can flash them. And I think the Yamaha guy yesterday told me they can make a 250 a 332. And
they can make a 200 a 332.
Holy cow. So I don't know why they're doing that. Apparently Yamaha doesn't have a problem with them, but when you see when you see those skeeters go racing by you on Toledo Bend, it's probably because they've been flashed. Now he told me it's about $900 to flash them typically.
Yeah.
Let's check the hole shot on it. We'll get this boat out of the way coming in. I can already feel it's got more left to right in it, even though wind's drifting a little more. That's the Jag. Trim gauge right there. Okay, so it's going on the jack plate all the way down. Ooh, it's fighting it. So we're playing with the hole shot. So we had the first hole shot, we had it all the way down. I don't want to hit a kid. Second hole shot, we had it at 1 on the bobs. We moved it up to 2 to see what happens. Yeah, we'll take jack plate higher. That's way better. It still stands the boat up really high, but it's way faster. Hitting the wrong button, this one. Take it all the way to 3 and let's see what happens. I bet it blows out. Two's the better one. So 2 was the better one, a lot better hole shot. And it's just because you're turning such a big prop, it just can't spin up the RPMs fast enough. But my guess is if you, I don't know whether the holes are in or out on this, but if you let that prop cavitate a little more, either added holes or open the holes up, I bet it would perform a little bit better because it would spin up faster. So that'd be something if I ran a Suzuki I'd play with, and I would imagine the guys who run Suzuki have played with it and got it figured out. Put it back in 2. So we're going to replicate having some gear in the front of the boat by having my big old self up here. Yep.
As you can see, we kept playing with the jack plate and putting a little bit of weight on the front deck, resolved our hole shot issues. So this is, again, it's a 20-foot 4-inch boat, but it's a traditional, it's a 94-inch beam, which is, you know, the traditional, the FTD series, the more narrow Bass Cats, the faster Bass Cats. This has a bunch of people who love this boat. They continue to run it. Now, it does have, to me personally, a little bit different layout, because it's got 3 center boxes and a smaller kind of ice chest box under the step. Again, it's a smaller boat, right? It's only 94 inches and it's more narrow towards the front, not near as much fishing space up there. But a very fast boat, a great following. I think the FTD, don't hold me to this, but I think it's about the Cougar line, the Cougar name has been around, as long as I think it's Bass Cat has been around just about. But I think the FTD came out 10 or 12 years ago. So that's what this boat is. And we never got the performance exactly dialed in, but this boat will hook them. You're going to hear me talk about the mid-range here in just a second. By the way, one other complicating factor, which I'm sure any of you who went up the following day or that afternoon and did the test rides, when you got guys out there doing nothing but running up and down the lake on a lake that just, you know, so it's a bathtub, right? The rocky shore bounces every boat wake right back to you. It gets pretty bouncy out there. So, it, you know, it otherwise would be dead calm. But as you can see, there goes another guy going the other direction. So we're turning it into a big bathtub. So it's really hard to go wide open, although you're going to see here in a minute. The young man driving the Jaguar didn't have a problem doing that. So.
Okay, one thing we both agree on, it's got stupid mid-range acceleration. That's the fastest I've ever seen a boat go from 40 to 60. It's just like that. It's crazy fast. Again, it's all based upon prop, gear ratio, where the curve is and the horsepower, but 40 to 60, you're gonna outrun anybody now. You don't go 40 to 60 very long, but it's pretty exhilarating, that one little get it. We ran it in low 70s, but we really never got out on a big water and tried to stand in it. So I would imagine, well, I know from talking to the other pro staff guys, the ear is still the Lamborghini. It's still the fastest of the group. This one's kind of right in behind it. And then I think the Puma and the Lynx, and I think the Puma and the Lynx would be next. I think the Caracal's actually a little bit slower, but I don't have anything to prove that. I've not been in that boat. Just not a boat I'm particularly interested in. But because I like the Puma and now I like the changes to the Lynx, that's a really fine hull and it's the size boat I'm looking for, a little bit bigger boat. All right, I'm not sure what to make of that, but we have Cole Mayo with us, and I said, what do you do? And he goes, I drive, which makes me think of that Statham guy on the movie, The Driver. So we're gonna see what he does. So we're in a Jag. It's got a 400R, and a couple things to note about the Jag. So you sit way deeper. It's much like the old Lynx. You sit way deeper. It's 2 steps to the front cap. It's a great big boat. A couple of things you've seen changed in the new Lynx came from the Jag. Number one, the difference in the change on the tool storage. Number two, this was the first boat they put the channeling to get the water behind the deck to flow so you don't have water sloshing back and forth in the floorboard. This boat is a high 80s boat, you think?
Yes, sir. Well, 400R, high 80s, low 90s.
Low 90s. You driven it today?
I've not been in it today, so we're going to expect high 80s.
So today. He's a era guy, so he is a go fast guy. He likes to go fast. How fast is your era?
Low 80s.
And what motor is it?
250.
Pro XS?
Yes.
What prop do you run on it?
I like to have a 26 Fury, but sometimes
25 summertime?
25 summertime.
Yeah, 3-blade.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna take my hat off because I got a feeling he's gonna try to blow my hat off right here. So Cole just pointed something out to me I hadn't thought about. So when I drove the Jag before, it felt really strange to me, the steering, and I felt like it had a lot of side slop in it. And he said, well, you didn't realize, but what it was this is, what do you call that type of steering?
So if I let this audio run, you would know. Neither one of us knew. So I did a little research. You guys know me. So it's not a cableless. It says it's an electro-hydraulic power steering system. The technology replaces mechanical cables with digitally controlled hydraulic pump, offering a superior and more precise steering experience. Said another way, it feels really different when you drive it.
We'll see how fast we can go without hurting me. That's a very maniacal laugh he just gave me. Throttles are tricky too. Yeah, in case the 400 is not quite big enough for you, you put a 500 on there.
It's a very safe boat with a 400.
You know, it really was damn stable at 85 miles an hour. It was a little, it surprised me how fast it got there. Well, actually, it surprised me how fast it got to about 75. And then you could just tell you were just getting more bite. But yeah, let's go your underway.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you guys remember our prop conversations with Nick Peterson at Mercury Racing, he made a comment, and I wish I should go back and watch. I think he said that it can take up to 10 minutes for a prop to get maximum bite. In other words, for it to get the minimum slip it's going to get. And it's because it's just constantly gaining traction. The water's getting cleaner and getting cleaner, and it's getting more and more traction. And he said it may be fractional, but it takes a long time. And hitting boat wake like that, you lose a little bit of grip, and you've got to reestablish it. But I got to tell you, on this lake, at 86, 87 miles an hour, we ran out of space really fast. I mean, it would be interesting to, you know, point it north from the dam at Rayburn where you could just run a 15-minute stretch wide open. Man, we went really fast. I don't think we touched 90, but we got really close. And it is. And the kid can really drive, by the way. They can drive, not kill him. Go back and focus in the middle of that video, you'll see I'll point the camera at his hands. And so he's driving a hand throttle, and he's just got it smashed down as far as it'll go. And he is working that wheel. He's touching that trim up and down according to what kind of water he's got coming up. He's totally focused. This is a talent. This is not something you're going to jump in a Jag or an Era and drive it like this on day one. I get a lot of guys ask me, how do you learn to drive them? Well, you learn to drive them by driving them. But great, impressive driving by Cole that day. I really enjoyed it.
I was going to tell you, we're all over the rev limiter. so we could get more speed with a bigger prop. It needs a bigger prop because we're all over the rev limiter right now.
So it's interesting, and I've got some really good footage of his hands. Driving a boat at speed is not easy. He's obviously a very good driver, but driving a boat at speed with a hand throttle is really tricky, because you were playing with jack plate, not jack plate as much as trim, and then correcting that motor when it tried to walk on you. And that's really hard to do when you don't have it. It's way easier with a hot foot.
You're doing it all one-handed.
Right.
When you don't have a hot foot, it's all one-handed, and so having that extra hand makes a world of difference.
Because this is one of those lakes where pontoon boat or wake boat roller will sneak up on you, and that's a bad situation if you're running 85 miles an hour and you don't see a wave coming. So you've got to be paying a lot of attention. I don't know if you can see his face, but he's looking downstream really hard, and that's fast. I tell you, the stretch you ran the first time right by the bank, where you get the real sense of how freaking fast you're going because the trees were just going by, that's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed it.
Well, it was there and I could drive it, so I drove it. And I drove it, I think I drove it just over 81, which is not by a margin the fastest I've driven a boat, but it is by far the fastest I've driven a hand throttle boat. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. I mean, you need a hand on the trim, a hand on the wheel, and a hand on the throttle. Well, I'm a hand short. So I drove it as fast as I was comfortable driving it. 75 was really comfortable driving it, but that's a lot of boat. That's a really cool boat. I really enjoyed it. And if money were no object and I could buy me a 400 or 500R, we'd be having a whole different conversation. But a little out of my price range. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back. We're headed to Rayburn this weekend. We'll have some East Texas fishing footage. I'm not sure where from, probably some from Rayburn. Not sure where else we'll be over there. But we'll have some footage up for you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, fellas.